Can you hear me now? Everybody's fanning a little bit and a little warm in here. Can you imagine what hell will be like? Woo. Yes, I am. This is the last song we'll preach. Just sitting there and listening to that and the fear. And when you get asked to do this, so Sunday did the pastor's moment, and then I go back and I sit down, and pastor comes up and says, "You want to preach Sunday?" Just asking, how do you say no to that? And I'm thinking, I don't have just a plethora of sermons sitting on the shelf. Hey, let's just go pick that out. And so it turns into, is it enough? You know, so one of the things for me, and it's probably for most people, but definitely for me, if I get asked to do something, I want to do it well. And I want to do it to where it's pleasing, not to me, but I'm truly a giver. I want it to be a blessing for other people. So we have this great moment, and my sermon's about seasons of people that come into your life. And so that's what today's is going to start at. We have friends, and life on earth is so brief. We're here, and it feels like a long time as we get older, and we have going to be new parents sometime soon, and we have new parents, and we have some of the elders in the church. And so life is such a span of who we are and what we do and how we live life, and people come in and people go out, and you just never know what that blessing is. We have a tendency to be negative towards things. It's so easy to criticize. It's so easy to get on the downside of things. And I'm going to challenge you this morning to look at the people in your life that bring a blessing to it. Good or bad, it's a life lesson. You never fail. It's just a lesson learned, right? We never fail at anything. We just learn at something. So let me get my specs here a little bit. So we're starting off with life on earth is brief, but eternity is forever. This is important. It goes back to what John just said. I love the Sunday church. To me, this is our gas station. You can't just run. If you got an electric car, you got to plug it up. If you got a gasoline car, you got to stop by the gas station, ask my daughter, "Dad, my car's on empty. Can you come fill it up, please?" "Sure, babe. Yeah, I'd love to." You know. So I look at this is my gas station. And February through May right now is tough on me and my gas station. Ashton, as most of you know, plays college softball, and her season starts in February, and everything goes well. We hope for in the next 2 years that it's going to end in about the second week in June at the World Series. But every weekend I try to be in the stands for her. I try to be there. This year I've went to Mexico. I've been to Boston. I've been to Oregon. I've been to Cal Berkeley. And every weekend, or just Tallahassee, Florida State, and driving down. Through that, you meet so many people and so many lessons that happen in what we're doing in life, and learning from the people that come in that you meet and the people that leave. Sometimes people leave our life and we question what we did. Like what we do like it bothers us. Like you have people that all of a sudden is a friendship and things of that nature, and then you grow apart and you grow different. And it's like, what did I do? Did I step on your toes? Did I say something wrong? Did I do something in a way that offended you? Why all of a sudden are you not talking? Guys, the more I've kind of read into this and what God's laid on my heart is, that's God's plan. It's just the way it is, and you have to trust that. And sometimes trusting His plan is probably the hardest thing that you ever have to do. I remember the church that we were going to before here. I was doing this very randomly and sporadically on a Sunday night or whatnot at the other church, and it came into my life for a reason. And it got me in the pulpit a couple of times, and and did a sermon, but God's plan with the way life happens and things happen wasn't meant to stay there, wasn't meant to be there. And so God's plan is for us and for you and for the people that's come into my life right now, this is where it is, and this is what builds you up. And you look around and you look at the people that are sitting in this place, and from all walks of life, from struggles to success, to has had a pretty good life, their whole life, and it all mixes together and meshes as far as what we do. Business owners, employees, people looking for a job. It's all a purpose in God's plan, and we have to trust that. Embrace change. Relationships will always change. How you handle change, that's up to you. So when people walk out, sometimes it's just meant to be, and we've got to let them go. Transitions can be approached with faith, knowing God's presence is consistent. Isn't that a blessing? The song was going, and I'm so ADD sometimes, and I have a tendency to ramble. Truth fact is, to get out of college my senior year, I had to write a paper. And I wrote one and didn't pass, and had a tendency to ramble. Wrote another one, didn't pass, had a tendency to ramble. And I was dating my wife at the time. I don't think we were engaged yet. Was we engaged? She said yes, we were engaged. And so she wrote my final paper. I passed college, got a degree, and now hold on a minute. I didn't teach English. I was a PE teacher when I first came out of college, so I could shoot a basketball and teach you to play ping pong. But so people, not for her. I don't know if I would have had a college education when it was all said and done. But God's presence is phenomenal. I mean, just no matter where you're at, what you're doing, how you're doing things, He's the judge. And I was sitting back there thinking, and you were singing the song and thinking about His presence. And I don't know, for me doing this, I wonder sometimes, is this turning your life over to Christ's good sermon? You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm competitive. I can't help it. We go play pickleball, I want to win. We go play basketball, I want to win. Ask Gavin. We go play golf, I want to win. I mean, it's important to me. I play Ashton in whatever sport happens. I want to be good at it. And so as I read this, and is it life-changing? And so with that is listen to this song as people come into your life. As you sit and listen to me for the timer didn't start for, 10 minutes, we'll get to lunch early, right? But anyway, for the next little bit, this is what I challenge you. As the song was probably I've never heard it before, and absolutely phenomenal. God is the judge. We don't have to go to court. We don't have to go to anywhere. God is our judge, and He is a forgiving judge. And it doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter. This wasn't in my sermon. This is just from the song. It doesn't matter what you've done, where you've been, what you've done it with, who, anything of that nature. This is where it gets fixed. This is where you change your life. It changed mine. And so as you're sitting there today, and as you heard the song, if you got chill bumps like I did, and you felt the presence of God, and your palms get a little sweaty, and you feel like the temperature goes up in your body a little bit, it's not just because it was a little warm in here. It's because it's the Holy Spirit talking to you. Now, here's the best part about this, is just as your friendships work because you spend that time together. You have senior nights, and you have teen nights, and you show up at pickleball courts, and you show up at dinners, and we have horse races where sometimes the horse is just stronger than the person that gets bucked off. So we have moments in our life. But this is what I tell you. The all-knowing judge, friend, compassion is this guy. And He's at the altar. And so I know sometimes we have altar calls, and I know sometimes we talk about it, and then sometimes we say just sit in your chair and raise your hand and say this prayer. But this is what I'm going to challenge you to do, whether it's sometime today or it's down the road. If you're sitting there and I feel like I'm stepping on your toes a little bit, okay, and you feel like that I'm speaking to you, this wasn't part of my sermon. This thing is open. So with God's plan, it's an outer works of an inner feeling. Don't just sit there. Don't just sit there. That's the devil sitting on your lap saying, please don't get up. Because when you come here, it changes your life. It changes everything in your being. How you treat your family, how you treat your friends, how you run a business, how you work in a business. And so at any time today, you feel that this is speaking to you, come. I promise you, Brother Kenny will pray with you. I promise you, that weight that you have that's going on in your life, it's you ever feel like that 60-pound dumbbell is on your chest and you can't breathe, you can't get it off, you just can't get away from it. I promise you that when you get up from the altar, that it'll be left here. That's my sideways ADD that kicks in. Oh. Don't let the devil win. It's a game. Don't let him win. Don't let him sit on your lap today. Knowing God's presence is always constant through work, school, social relationships, whatever your purpose in life. And your purpose in life changes. I can't imagine that when I left Decker that I would ever stand up here in a pulpit and bring a sermon to somebody. Thank you for the opportunity. It really is special. You have to be happy with who you are. Sometimes, and I talk to my girls all the time about this, is you have to love you. Don't let somebody else tell you that you're beautiful to make you feel good. You are beautiful. You're beautiful in God's eyes and God's creation, and everybody has something that you can bring to each other. Ashton, Josie, you don't need a boyfriend to tell you that you're beautiful. You just don't. You got to believe in who you are and what you're doing in life and the confidence in what you carry. And so it's so important in life to bring that to the table. And you got to get you right here before Ashton can try to get Gavin right. Just saying. So. Sorry, Gavin. Number 3, God's enduring love. While relationships are temporary, God's love is eternal. They come and go. God's love is eternal. Doesn't matter with what you're dealing with, God's got you. Always, every day. Oh. What do you do in a troubled relationship? What do you do when it's struggle? What do you do when it's hard times? What do you do? Probably mine and Brandy's biggest fight is probably ever been over money. Just the trouble, it just makes it, bills, it's tough. As far as just a flat out argument, is just money sometimes is tough, and it's what makes the world go around, and the electric company likes their money each month, or they like to turn stuff off. And so it's here. I can't explain it, but the more that you give, I can't explain it. God's shovel's bigger than mine, no matter what I give. I can't explain it. It's that simple. But you got to give here. You can't just come sit and want. That's not how this works. He wants that outward works for the interchange of who you are. So you've got to come create that relationship and that friendship with God. It ain't easy. It doesn't happen overnight. It didn't happen for me, and I still struggle with it. I still are not the person that I need to be, but I'm a work in progress. Just happen to get up here and share sometimes. if it's troubled, seek God's guidance. And that's not just when the electric bill's due at the end of the month, or we're trying to figure out how we're going to get groceries, or a family member. Seek it all the time. Seek it all the time. Short-term relationships, understand when you look at things and people come in and out of your life, can truly serve a purpose. We don't always know what that purpose is at the time. And that's why sometimes when it comes in and it leaves and then it's a short-term purpose, sometimes we just have to let it go and understand it was for a moment to build something up. It's divine in His all-knowing plan of what's going to happen at the end of the day, of who's going to come into your life tomorrow, of who you meet. God's got this. He does. Focus on what matters. When you have your friendships, and I mean, it's not just friends. I mean, parents are friends, but siblings, brothers, sisters, it's all friends. And so focus on what matters. Prioritize God's relationship and invest in His work to help with your friendship, with your decisions, and what you do in life. This is one that I probably struggle with the most. And it's through this, it's just the applications of life of what we can use. And it says, invest in relationships. So when you invest in something, that doesn't mean, Kenny, what can you do for me? You know what I mean? I'm investing into Kenny. I'm investing, John, what can you do for me? I'm investing into John. I'm invested into Jessica. You get invested. And so when you learn to give, treat it like your children and not expect anything in return, right? It's a blessing. So invest in your relationships. Invest in your parents. Invest in your children. Invest in your friends. Invest in your church. Okay? Invest. Whatever it is, invest in that. So I know that life gets busy. And so I think about one of the times, a couple of my good friends, and I'll share a couple stories. My best man in our wedding, he has passed away from a drug overdose many years ago. Wasn't that way in a drug overdose. Wasn't that way when I got married. He was super good looking. Saying that from a guy, no, but he was a good looking guy. He was athletic. He was outgoing. Went to college, became a pharmacist, made a great living. But the devil had some other plans. And it doesn't matter how much money you got, how little money you got. It doesn't matter where you came, where you grew up, what you did. It's the devil found a vice and he used it. And eventually it cost him his life. I remember a time I was teaching. And so as you know, teachers, we struggled to get by from time to time, and I hadn't been teaching long. And I think I think you were teaching at the time, or maybe you just started or whatnot. And so my wife and I both were teachers at that time, and he called me, and we actually came by the school because I don't think I had a cell phone back then. It was pre-phones. And he says, hey, I need to borrow some money. And it's like, what do you need to borrow some money for? And he says, I got to pay my electric bill. It's about to get turned off. It's like, man, I don't have $200-300 extra a month in an electric bill to help out. I said, well, let me see what I can do. So I got to talk to Brandy when she gets home. I said, be by the house around 3:30. I said, let me talk to the wife and find out what we can do and whatnot. So we got home after school, and sure enough, he comes pulling up in the driveway, and he comes out, and I said, me and Brandy talked, and I said, we can help. He said, awesome. And I said, well, get in, let's go. So where we're going? So we're going to the electric company. And he says, no, just write me the check, I'll take it. And I said, no, I don't think that's the way this is going to work. I said, let's go electric company. I have, this is all I've got. It's going to make me a little strapped at the end of the month, but I got you. And he says, no, that's, and he got in the car and left. I wasn't going to enable, because at that time, it'd been a few years, I kind of knew the road that he was going down and choosing to. I had to cut that tie. You can't save everybody. You can't do it. Sometimes you just got to cut that tie. And I hate it. And there's times that you think of, What if I'd have done this? Could I have done this? Sometimes in life we just make choices, and choices are ever-ending, and I miss them dearly. But he made that choice down life. And so sometimes with your friendships and the people that you're close to or come into your life, sometimes you just got to let them go down that other road. Pray for them. Something that I didn't do. My belief wasn't strong, but my belief of prayer and it was not a belief as wrong, my strength in prayer was not there. And so I could have prayed for them a lot more. I didn't. And so, but I was a giver and wanted to help. And so sometimes we have to let people go that come in our lives. As the young kids in here, there's going to be a lot of people that come into your life when you're doing this. And they go, oh, you're getting into ministry. Oh, you're going to preach. And they're going to look at you a different way. Okay, so what? They're going to treat you a little different. Not that you asked for it, but they're going to treat you just a little bit different. But I think it's people that comes out of just not knowing, and they don't understand, and they don't get it. And you just smile at them, and you go on about your business. But through softball, basketball, you're going to meet many people in college. And you're going to meet a lot of different folks, and they're going to come in and go out. It's funny, Ashton's freshman year at Florida State, remember I get off on my tangents. Ashton at Florida State, their freshman year, they have this group thread. And so during the fall, their season is they only play like 8 games. And typically they're on Fridays and Sundays, or Saturdays and Sundays is when the games work. And they put out a group thread her freshman year. It's like, hey, we're all going to church. They have a neat little like student church at FSU. It's like, hey, anybody want to go? And one of the fifth-year seniors wrote back, hey, we're not doing that here. We're not talking about that, this, that, and other. I know, it's just the way it is. And so as a freshman, you just let it go and you don't say anything. And her and a couple of her friends, when it was available, they went to church on Sunday and did those things. So this year, school started and she's a sophomore. The old hats are gone and the new hats are coming in and get some seniority, and the same group thread goes out. They text, and I think y'all had 10 to 12 people going to church on Sundays when it was awesome. Don't get discouraged by your friends. Don't get discouraged. Don't let it get you sideways. You have your belief in what you're doing. Trust in that. I can remember my dad was loved to be an entertainer. And when he would come into the shop, you get the sales papers, that had all the stuff that was on sale at Kroger's. Y'all familiar? I haven't got to that part in my life yet to read that. I'm just saying, I don't know if it was, if that's what some older folks do or whatnot. But I would come into work and he would say, Michael, $6 a pound ribeyes today. Let's get some steaks and we can cook it. I mean, he was all about grilling and cooking and things of that nature. So when it talks about invest in your relationships, and by this time I had come to work for him, bought the business and doing heating and air full time. Well, I'm hustling and we're growing and he's semi-retired, and my father was one, and I'm sure y'all have parents that are like this, and I have a mother-in-law. She's my favorite mother-in-law in the whole world. She's phenomenal. But when she wants something done, we want it done now. Hey, what about taking a trip? So we got to get up and let's go and we got to go get it now. There's nothing else going on in the world, but we got to go get it right now. My dad was that way. And he would call and it's like, hey, what are you doing for dinner tonight? Dad, it's 10:30 a.m. I don't know. I haven't figured out for lunch and I don't know what's going on. I hadn't talked to her. Well, why ain't you talk today? Because she's working. She's at school. We'll find out. And Brandy would come home and pick up Taylor in the afternoons, and it was like, well, what are you, Michael, doing for dinner? I don't know. I haven't talked to him. Well, what do you mean you ain't talked to him? He's been at work. I've been at work. We've been working. So his world his mind didn't operate that way. But I so regret, and this is the investing part of, there would be times that he would call. It's like, Dad, I'm working. I'll call you back. That phone call probably never happened to call back. Life sometimes gets in the way. It does, and it sucks. And you can relive and rehash that for the rest of your life. But make sure that you invest into whatever it is that is important. If you have a sibling that y'all kind of separated, I've had some, every family has that. Make amends of it. Make amends of it. This place ain't forever, and whatever it is ain't that bad. God's got it, right? Grudges is the devil's workshop. Get rid of your grudges. Get rid of, do you know that she did, and it doesn't matter. Give it to God. Let God change their heart. Grudges can be tough. And they're easy to hang on to because it's so easy to, I appreciate the words, John, of trying to build somebody up. I want to leave you better than I found you. That's important to me. I think it's the coach in me and coaching for, I loved all my girls. Josie played for me, Ashton. I love my girls, all of them, and Ashton will tell you I felt like I did now. They may say different, but I treated all of them the same. They were all like my daughters. But grudges are so easy to get, especially in women's sports. I mean, I had to have conversations. Ashton had one of her best friends, and when they got together, she was that friend that you can't have any other friends kind of deal. She would not suck the life out of her. She's a great kid, but she just wanted her all to herself. And so, we had to have talk. I had a conversation with Ashton about being a leader is not secluding yourself. Being a leader is bringing everybody in, making everybody want to do better, making everybody want to be part of whatever the situation is. So all of that is growth of what you need in life. Don't hold grudges. Don't sit there. It's easy to talk about. Jeremy gave me a tattoo, and I didn't really like it that well. Did you go tell Jeremy about it? Did you go have a conversation with him? I guarantee you the man could. Heating and air world. It's warm in here. I promise. I went outside and checked while y'all was singing just to make sure that it was working. So only job in the world where you can make 300 people happy or absolutely tick off the entire congregation when that thing ain't working well. I'm just saying. Forgive. Get rid of the grudge, forgive. Because that's what God does. He forgives. 24/7. It's a revolving door, forgive. He lets it go. Embrace your season of friends. Embrace the short terms, the long terms. Find that person. They're out there. Find that person that at 3 o'clock in the morning, everybody needs the person at 3 o'clock in the morning that you can make a phone call to, and that person will show up at your doorstep. No questions asked. I saw a TikTok, and this isn't relevant. Sorry. But it's about friendships. So in the TikTok, it was an actor and a guy, y'all may have seen it. The guy was talking to his best friend. He goes, "Hey, listen, we got to go do this. You can't tell anybody. You can't ask any questions. We've just got to go do this." And his best friend looks at him and says, whose car are we taking, yours or mine? That's the friendships that you need. You need the friendships that at whatever your darkest, deepest moment, there's not a judge, there's not just somebody to listen to. Find that person in your life. Focus on godliness. Focus on that relationship. Focus on listening to what God has to tell you about the situation. I wrote down a couple of verses in here, Romans 8:28. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good. Proverbs 18:24. One who has unreliable friends soon comes for ruin. But there is a friend, it says a, it didn't say many friends. It says, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Find that person. So I know one of my things, and I'm sure y'all is, and I'm sure y'all had this conversation, of life has changed, times have changed, cell phones, media, everything that is going on in the world. But I know like one of I wouldn't call it a fear, because as the song says, we fear nothing, right? But as of one of my worries as a parent is, what's the world going to be like for my kids? What's the world going to be like for my grandkids? And so a couple of things as I close with this right here, and it says, we look into the future with some fear about how our children and grandchildren will endure the rapidly increasing evil of this world. And it's definitely changed that way. God's promise, not God thinks about it, not God will do this. God's promise is that His grace will be sufficient. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it is, it'll be sufficient. And it'll be sufficient for my children to live in Christ. He's got enough. He's got enough for my daughter, my grandkids, my great-grandkids, my great-great-grand. He's got enough till it's ever time for him to come. God will always have more grace than what your challenge is. In closing, I'll say this. This is pretty neat, and this talks about the people that come into your life. This is not something that I made up. It was, once again, something that just watching reels and things, but I think it's really, really true in what we're doing in life. And it says, some people come into your life for a season. They wasn't meant to always be there. Don't forget, that's God's plan. Some people just come and go. It's okay. Don't be bothered by that. But they are always they weren't meant to be there always. There are people that come into your life like booster rockets. And so, as booster rockets, you watch a rocket go up, and if you've ever seen it, and then at a certain altitude, what happens to the boosters? That's your friends. They fall off because you're going somewhere. Have confidence in who you are and where you're going in life, and that we're always going up, and we're always reaching for the next best thing. And so as some people just aren't equipped to go as high and to the altitudes that you're going, believe in that. So don't be afraid when they fall off. It doesn't mean that they're bad people. They just can't go where you're going. Thank you.